Hi guys, Steve and Josh, we're back here again. Today's video we wanted to do a little bit different. This one we would like to go over the recycling codes for plastic. So these codes are the little numbers you see inside the triangle underneath your plastic container. These are internationally recognised and they class the various plastics into 7 types, which is 6 main ones and 1 miscellaneous or...
Yeah, and which we'll go through all the classifications now. And we might as well get started with number 1.
Number 1, let's start.
Number 1, which is my favourite plastic. I don't know why I have a favourite plastic. It might be a bit weird, but...
Because it's your pet?
Yeah. Oh, there it is. It's PET. And then I'll attempt pronouncing it polyethylene terephthalate. Is that correct?
Close enough.
There we go. It sounds right. So PET plastics, I'm sure you all would have seen it out in the marketplace. Essentially, it's a gloss plastic. They're shiny, it can be opaque, it can be clear like your water bottles. So all your plastic water bottles, Coke bottles, that's all made out of PET. Why would somebody want to use PET? Well, it is very good barrier protection. It withstands well against essential oils. It is a very common plastic used out there. But yeah, as you can see, you might not be able to see, but on the base of this packaging, there's a triangle with a number 1, and that will mean that it's related to PET only.
Number 2, HDPE. So high density polyethylene with a code number 2 is probably your next most common plastic after PET for bottles and jars. HDPE would be your milk bottles, traditional or handle bottles. It could be in cosmetics where we use it for a number of different brands where it's more of a matte finish. It's got good impact strength, good oxygen barrier as well. It's just a more extrusion blow molded plastic generally, but that's HDPE. And we use a lot of HDPE and PET here at Weltrade.
Yeah, and number 3, which we don't supply this type of packaging, is PVC. This you'll probably see more in industrial with plumbing pipes, everything like that. We don't supply any packaging using PVC, but that's what will be code 3.
Yeah, PVC in Australia was used widely 10-15 years ago. Tends to have phased out and more people have gone towards PET now that PET is a lot lower cost to set up manufacture. So that's why we don't do PVC anymore. Number 4 is LDPE or low density polyethylene. It's from the polyethylene family. We make a lot of tubes from this, but what it is a more flexible material. So a lot of bottles, like some sauce bottles will have LDPE, in medical applications where things it needs to be quite squeezy, they all have LDPE in the bottle.
Yeah, and like Steve said, it's chemically quite similar to HDPE, but what we also see out in the marketplace is there's blends. So especially it's quite common in tubes, you'll have an LDPE and a HDPE blend, which is essentially called a medium density polyethylene or MDPE. So you get that quite a lot as well.
So that's number 4. Number 5 is polypropylene or PP. Polypropylene, widely used, probably maybe even the most common for all your caps, for more of a rigid type of product, but you can blow mold with it, and we do blow mold a couple of bottles here at Weltrade with polypropylene. Has great oxygen barriers, things like that.
Yeah, you also see, your sprays, our new mono PP pumps, which we did a video on about a few months ago, all made from polypropylene plastic. So yeah, like Steve said, it is very popular plastic, especially for your closures, pumps and sprays. Yeah,
so that was number 5, polypropylene. Number 6, polystyrene. So number 6, polystyrene, we don't use any polystyrene here at Weltrade. Polystyrene is still used widely for things like petri dishes, medical applications, quite a rigid plastic again, quite a high clarity plastic, but you're going to go through some more bits about polystyrene?
I'll leave that up to you, you're the polystyrene expert.
So just basically it's not as easy to recycle, there's not that much of ongoing sustainable applications, so therefore we don't tend to use it too much. We tend to use some other plastics that are more suited to a sustainable nature.
Yeah. And that brings us to number 7, which stands for other or miscellaneous. So these plastics can be anything from acrylic, AS, or pretty much anything, polycarbonate. But to be honest, this is not going to get recycled. It's going to end up straight into landfill. To give you some examples of packaging we used to offer, but we've discontinued. Here's like an airless bottle made from AS, or you got your hard plastic acrylic jars. Sure, they might look nice, but very bad for the environment. Code 7, and will end up in landfill.
We tend to encourage, we still have the odd brand that will come to us and say we like that style of packaging, but we tend to try and encourage them to try and look at other options because that will be better for that. There's always, especially with things in the code 7 to be aware of, if it's a polycarbonate product, it may have BPA, and we're very adamant about not having products with any BPA in our packaging. So yeah, that's another reason.
As you guys are aware, we're all about sustainability. The new 2030 APCO targets have been released now, and obviously number 7's not going to be on that list. We focus on our PET, HDPE, LDPE and PP. That's what we're all about, and then obviously the recycled PCR materials we also offer to help add to your sustainable message to your clients.
Yeah, so finally that's our 7 classification codes for recycling numbers on plastic packaging. Just to remember that Weltrade is big about trying to go for the sustainable option, like you just said, pushing through and steering into more sustainable options where we can, educating you if we can, and hopefully this video helps a little bit because there is a lot of people ask about recycling codes.
Yeah, and if you do have any questions after this, pick up that phone, shoot us an email, and we'll love to respond to you and get to know you guys. So,
great, thank you.
See you in the next video.